God bless you, siblings. So yesterday, unexpectedly, because I didn't expect it, hence why it's unexpected, I received a word from the Lord, and this one was stern. He was I can only sense I know it was almost like someone who feels frustration, but he's God, so he doesn't get frustrated, I think. Um, but yeah, Jesus was he was a little upset as he was giving me this. Um, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. So I will be reading off my phone as I got this. All right. So he starts off by saying, and this was to my understanding, from what I see, this was to his people. So he starts off by saying, "Oh, you stubborn people, how much longer will you not listen to what I tell you? If I tell you something, it is for a reason. Listen to me when I tell you to move. Whatever I tell you to do, do. Do you not realize that in your stubbornness lies disobedience? In your disobedience lies slack, and slack for others. Others suffer when you do not heed my words. Others are awaiting unbeknownst to them. Some do know nonetheless." And I think it was saying there others are waiting on for some people are waiting for you to move unbeknownst to them. "Some do know. Nonetheless, you do not trust me when I tell you to move. Children, I am using the word move loosely. You will know in your heart what I am referring to. As to everyone, it can be different. You are like the people of Israel, not trusting in me, not trusting that I will provide, that I will make a way. Read the scriptures if you know not of what I speak of, or need a reminder." I think he's talking about what they went through and not listening. Read what they're talking about. "Your disobedience leaves a slack in others. When I tell you to move, if you cannot be trusted in the little, how then do you want me to trust you in the great? I give you talents, and instead of doing what I ask you with it, you bury it, hide it, and or use it for needless things. You ask for help to be led. I give you. Yet you say, I want help and lead, but you cannot prove to me that you can." I think he's referring to lead. "By your disobedience, what you prove to me is that you cannot be trusted. So you stay in the same boat, in the same cycle. You want, but do not give. You hoard and say, go and come back next time, and I will give it, knowing you very well have it in your possession." Proverbs 3:28. I had to look that up because I knew it was from scripture. "Then you forget what I have established to you from the beginning." And when he says that, he meant what he told you to do in the first place. "You want to leave, come home." And now he kind of switches. "You want to leave, come home. In my kingdom there is no disobedience. Practice on earth how to live in heaven. But in these matters you do not walk." At this point, I see him. Uh oh, my screen just went. Hold on. At this point, I seen him put his hand on his forehead and look down and shake his head. When he says, "But in these matters you do not walk." Children, if you are still alive, it is because I sustain you. Your time on earth is not done. Your mission is not done. Do you not know that you can help out more in the flesh while being in the flesh? And I at that point I said I understood what he meant, but I had um an inclination that some may not know. So I said, Lord, please explain that so that they don't take it out of context. And he said, children, you have gifts in the spirit and the flesh, but to help in the flesh, you have to be in the flesh, as I have done to sacrifice my life for all humans. And this is not to say that you can't help in the spirit, because angels help us in the spirit. That's not what he's saying here. A person who has fallen asleep and has come to me cannot move in the flesh as if they were in the flesh. He's talking about when a person passes away. In other words, while in the flesh, I can use you more than being here at home with me. And then he says, he kind of looks at me. He says, they lack understanding. So I guess still people don't get it. So he says, children, you can be more of an influence alive than dead in some cases. Or I guess in most cases. This is just me saying that part now. I don't know. Take that to the Lord. And he says, again, he says, children, you can be of more influence alive than dead. I speak of the physical. Then he says, you explain, son. So basically, he's saying that we can be more of use while in this body opposed to being in heaven, because in heaven you can still pray for people, but you are no longer under the flesh and have, I guess, authority as you do in the flesh. So that's what he's referring to. Go ahead, post in the comments if you still don't get it, or email me. And then he goes on to say, then he switches a little bit. No, actually he doesn't switch. He says, "Do not ask me to rush, as there already is an appointed time. Wait, be patient, and occupy. I can still use you while you are alive, but if you are disobedient, I cannot use you as you are not willing." And he's talking about whenever he tells you to do something, others are that you don't know of. Others are being blessed by it. Whether it's make a video, whether it's preach, whether it's give to somebody, donate, whatever the case may be, he can use you, and you don't know, but they're being influenced because some of this. Anyways, I'll explain that later. I can not use. Okay, the things I ask of you are little, but its effects are great. In your acts of obedience, I and the Father can and will be glorified. And then at that point, I see people being blessed when you are obedient. I saw like people being blessed when you are obedient. And of course, if you're not obedient, then they're not being blessed. When you do not, back to him, when you do not obey, you stop our glorification through your disobedience. That I am not pleased in. When you also are not aware of, when you are also not aware of, is that if you do not obey, sometimes, oh, okay, I'm sorry. What you are not aware of is that if you do not obey, I sometimes in turn use someone else to give and blessing to them when it was intended for you. So you lose blessings, children. And then I saw forfeit. In some cases, you forfeit blessings when you're not obedient. You also put the burden on others when I have placed you there to assist them. Trust, he says to assist, and then I saw them. Trust in me. So that was the word I received yesterday. He was a little stern. Um, every word I get, I tried to receive it for me as well. So it was harsh hearing. It was kind of harsh hearing those things. But how can we be corrected if we're not corrected? How can we change if we're not corrected? Um, he did give me one right after, like 20 minutes, a half hour right after. This one was more funnier. His mood was changed. So be watching for that one. So that's the word. God bless you guys, and take care.